Hello, this is Onjigo from OnjigoPro.llc. This is the second part to the Make Me Onjibot series. For this video, I will be showing you the basics of the interface and the blueprints for making a conversation with Onjibot, or my robot called Onjibot. Once again, I'm not going to show you the fundamentals and the basics of creating a user interface in UE4. I'm simply going to show you what I have working with my user interface and the blueprint code. So this is my conversation widget. Here to the left is the commands. Here on the left is a black box, but it's actually an input box in which I will type in information. Here at the top is where the response for the Onjibot. Here is the enter button, and here, this box right here is actually where the web browser box is, in which I will load PHP file from my hosting as well. So this is similar to the commands widget, only this time I can type in something, press enter, and it will recognize what I've typed as a command, and then write it into my hosting into a text file called converse.txt. Raspberry Pi will read that text. So if I type in motors on and press this button, I've just loaded the motors on, or command underscore motors on .php file, and that PHP file just written into my conversation.txt file. So now I'm going to write simple conversation. So I'm going to say hello. How are you, Onjigo? Hey, Onjigo. What's up? For this, I gave it 3 answers to toggle to, and they're all randomized. So let's try, what is your name? And how are you, Onjibot? I'm okay, just awaiting combo and commands. Maybe can you fly? If data is correct and motors are functional, yes. And as you see, this is basic conversation. This is not commands unless you want it to respond to something that you type. So if you say, can you fly? Then I'm probably going to load a PHP file that's tell the motors to turn on, and you might have a drone blade attached to your Raspberry Pi. So let's speed this up and go to blueprint. So I have event tick, I have a sequence, and I have enter pressed. And we are not going to be dealing with navigation. We're going to be dealing with converse commands and questions, like the questions I just showed you. Now for that button that was pressed, this is my enter button. When I click on that button, I'm going to go through a sequence. And what's going to happen is I'm going to come here, and for converse box, the box that I typed into, I'm going to get that text that I've typed into, and I'm going to compare it to a static text like hello. And if that text equals the same thing, I'm going to check with a boolean, a branch here, if it's true or false. And if it's true, then I'm going to randomize through these answers here. I'm going to use a multi-gate, which is set to random, and I'm going to connect all these to different answers. So these are set text. These are static text that's already set. So based on what I type, I get a certain answer. But for what I type for here, for example, if I type in hello, this will be the answers that I get. I get 3 different answers. And at the end of each answer, I'm going to start over and reset so that we can start the randomization, if that's a word, and toggle through all these 3 answers. And that's only for hello, but I can do the same thing for the questions for what's your name, and if I continue to click enter, or the enter button, then I can toggle between different answers. But in this case, I just have I'm Onjigbot. So once again, everything's the same. We have the converse box, which when I'm typing to it, if it equals what is your name, if I type that in after I press enter. So after I press enter, it's going to check for anything that I've typed similar. So if I type in hello or what is your name, and if it equals that text, then if it's true, I'm going to answer that inside of the Onjibot text box. So this is pretty much the same for the commands. If I type in something, whatever, then if it's true, then it's going to respond, but only it's going to load the PHP file that's in my hosting. And that PHP file, once again, will write text into the conversation text file in my hosting. And then, like I said, I must repeat, Raspberry Pi will constantly read that text file in my hosting and perform an action by turning on the motor. So for the next video, I'll show you how everything's set up in Raspberry Pi 3. I will show you the Python code that allows me to connect to my hosting and read the text file continuously. I will also show you an alternative HTML user interface. The whole principal purpose of this is not to just simply use UE4. I want to also show different ways in which you can control a motor using Raspberry Pi 3, whether it's HTML or UE4, offline, online, it doesn't matter. So thank you for watching the second part of the Make Me Onjibot series. On to the third.